After 8 grueling episodes, not understanding who could possibly be enjoying this society, with all evidence leading to everybody hating themselves, we finally get an answer to who is enjoying this type of world. Are you intrigued? Well, watch further. I'm Riley, and I saw The Handmaid's Tale Season 1, Episode 8, Jezebels. It is directed by Kate Dennis, written by Kira Snyder. If you haven't seen this episode, I will spoil it for you. It is very cold. This episode follows the commander of Fred, giving Fred a nice little pretty dress, allowing her to wear makeup, and then taking her out. And he's taking her out to this, what's called like a Jezebel. It's a strip club, essentially. It's where all the people who couldn't live in this structure, the handmaids, the aunts, the wives, the commander's society, people who couldn't live in that structure, they now live here. And this is where Alfred's friend went. Oh yeah, remember the one that dressed as an ant and then stepped on that train? Yeah, she is now here. She's here. She's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it, you're here, it's amazing. And by the way, during this entire walk, Alfred is wearing like the green robe that the wife would wear, just so that she can like go be passed into places, all that fun jazz. And she's wearing the dress. She looks like she's supposed to be here. She's looking all fancy schmancy. But there are people in this room, in the room in which she goes to, like the bathroom, and she meets her friend there, and her friend walks out of the stalls like, oh my goodness, I have missed you. I'm like, bro, why would you do this here? Find a more private place, you freaking idiots. This place, the setting, the strip club kind of dealio, and the environment of there being a bunch of commanders there with their wives, with a bunch of handmaids there, because other commanders are definitely doing this as well. It seems like people are enjoying this society, but not purely for being the society in which it is. No one's enjoying that part. Nobody likes that. It seems like a lot of the higher-ups are cheating. They're enjoying their lives, they're being debaucherous. This is where these powerful people can unwind and not have to adhere to any of the social stuff. Including, it seems like his wife doesn't know about what happened here. What essentially happens is they go home, they have sex, and then she leaves, goes somewhere else, and the wife returns. So it seems like this is some sort of weird, interesting cheating thing? Is this like a cheating metaphor? Or maybe it's like, oh, men are going to the strip clubs while their wives don't want them to go there or something. I don't know. I don't get it. But it definitely is behind her back. She does not know about it, or maybe she does know about it and isn't going this time. The show doesn't say, but the show is proposing, based on Alfred's point of view, that she does not know what's happening. And based on my point of view, I don't know what's happening either. I love how her friend's like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you stayed where you were. I made a terrible decision. Now instead of being a sex slave in a relationship like I was, now I'm a sex slave for a bunch of strangers, which is even worse. Which one would you prefer? Let me know in the comments below. Would you rather be a sex slave for one person or a sex slave for a bunch of people? Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I'm finally getting a look on who is enjoying this. It's the people who are comfortable with being dishonest, the people who are comfortable leading like a double life. Obviously, the commander has, I don't know if he has feelings necessarily. I can't tell if his motivation to take her out is social, because like the other commanders would have their handmaids and he'd be like, dang it, I want to have my handmaid with me too. And so he has the handmaid, but he has been showing signs of interest in her. Like, he wants to be intimate, clearly, and he has sex with her without all the hubba bubba with the ceremony stuff. The final scene is her carving into the closet, "You are not alone." It also seems like she's starting to get her own footing into the society. That's my read on this. or she's exploring, rather, she's more and more getting into the depths of the society as she's complying and complying. All of her compliance is buying her a lot of social points and therefore a lot of social privileges that I doubt the other handmaids have had access to. Tell me a handmaid that can go to a party like this with their commander. This episode sheds some light on this world. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it took this long. I don't know what else I would say about it other than it finally answered questions that I had, but it also gave me a lot of different questions. Like, I'm curious about what the situation between the commander and his wife are like. Is it some sort of arranged marriage? Well, it's clear it's not an arranged marriage because there have been flashbacks in the other episodes of their life before what happened. But I'm also curious, like, what caused their meeting up? Because we see their relationship before the apocalypse. We don't see them start a relationship. I want to see what that's like. We also see in this episode how Nick became an eye. He got initiated into this whole program, and then he's an eye, and then he's like, hey, you gotta keep an eye on this guy over here, this commander over here. I'm like, okay, so there is an accountability system for the commanders, and that's the eyes. And Nick saw the commander take her out, take Offred out. And then Offred is questioned about this later. Well, in not question, like Nick asked her about it. No, it's Nick and Offred come together. And then Nick's like, hey, how are you? And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help myself. I had to do what he told me to do. But I'm like, how do you know what he was about to say? You don't know. You feel guilty? Or is this bad writing? You couldn't have known that Nick was there. He was across the street in the shadows, hiding. You did not see him. Some of my questions from before have been answered, but I have a lot more questions now, and I guess that will keep me watching. Oh boy. This was better than the other episodes for sure. This was not abysmal. I was not like, what are you doing? This is terrible. Why would you do this? I was like, oh my goodness, finally. Some sort of plot, but because it took this long, it's not indicative of the show's quality, as in like towards the good. It's not indicative of the show being good. It's indicative of the show stretching out a tiny book for 5 seasons. How do you do that? Well, with a lot of filler and a lot of slowness. If this was written by a good writer, the whole Handmaid's Tale thing, and also the TV adaptation, if it was done by a good writer, all of my questions would have been answered within the first episode, and I would have had new questions. But now I have new questions now, and this is episode 8. That's not a good sign. Alright, what does this get? Would I recommend you watch this? No, don't watch The Handmaid's Tale unless you're a woman. Then, I don't know, you can be like, oh no, we're in Trump's America or something. By the way, we're not in that. On a scale of 1 to 5, we're at like 0. When it comes to coming close to what's happening in the Handmaid's Tale society. Yeah, don't watch this show, but definitely watch my reviews. I gotta give this episode, I don't know, it's like a 5.9 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another on the platform you like. So if I haven't reviewed on a channel, there's a chance I haven't even seen it all. So get the Patreon request at patreon.com/ASEPresents for $20 deals for 1 movie review per 1 month. You can also help support the daily grindiness by going to itsmintsalad.com, so you can go there. And until next time, mintsalad, see you later, my salad, croutons, and bacon bits. Goodbye. I'm gonna find somebody to fertilize me.